Eagle looking great. Your dough.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to the Saturday Morning State Line Show.
I'm here to tell you Santa Claus has a list of addresses of all the evil people, and he refuses to share it with the police. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday Morning State Line Show, the 9th day of December, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind.
You did it. Congratulations. You made it.
Yeah,
Thanks for
there we go.
joining us today on this extremely packed show. Maybe that explains why we had a little technical snafu at the beginning. It's like the tension that is built up with all this fun stuff we got planned for you today. That's what I'm going to blame it on anyway. Is that all right?
Yeah. You said packed show. I believe what you're saying is that we're doing 60 minutes worth of Packer football talk. Is that right?
Oh, buddy. 60 minutes of Packers talk. It turns out many of our guests today are also cheeseheads like us.
Awesome.
It's amazing. We're going to learn who they are coming up. But first, we need to get to our weekly check of the big number of the week. Let's do this. Our current race to 10 has Tom and Joann tied at 5 apiece. That's right. We're halfway to 10, ladies and gentlemen. Halfway to 10. And our big number of the week this week has to be updated on this list right here. Save and show. 756,096,000.
86,000. Yeah.
Wow. That had another comma in there I didn't expect. 756,096,000, and the answer is copies or cash. Copies or cash, and we'll tell you the answer at the end of this episode of the Saturday Morning State Line Show.
And I'm telling you my answer right now.
All right, there goes my text message just came through, and we have this is episode 191, ladies and gentlemen, 528 if you've been keeping track since we started the show in 2013, but episode 191 since going all podcast, all online.
But I've been doing the show since 2007. So let's calculate that out, math boy.
Yes. Yeah, 707. I don't know. Something.
Oh, you're so close. It was 708. Oh, well. I'm going to have to take away your prize, that brand new car wash.
Well, all right. I'll deal with that later. We've got guests, and more guests to get to today. My queue here to my left is all lined up. And we're going to start this morning off with someone I've been trying to get on the show now for months. Her name is Pam. My sister's name is Pam. And so it's a real joy to have you on the show today. Pam Reidenback, right?
Right.
Reidenback, who did something pretty amazing. I forget how many years ago that you've done this now, but you started something that has turned into something pretty awesome. We affectionately call it Nicne. The people who know what it is call it Nicne, but it's the Northern Illinois Center for Nonprofit Excellence. And how long ago did you start this, Pam?
Next year will be 20 years. 20 years ago.
Okay, wow. Okay, that was like twice as long as I thought it's already been in existence. So
yeah.
20 years ago, before we get, I guess, into the formation of Nicne, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? And what was your career arc before starting this organization?
Sure. So I grew up a Packer fan, right?
Yes.
In Pecatonica, Illinois. Graduated from Pecatonica High School. And then I went away to college. I went to U of I, got my undergrad in social work from the University of Illinois. And then went to University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I got my master's degree, also an MSSW in social work. And my work history is that I worked for a domestic violence program in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. In Madison, I worked for a legislator. I was a legislative aide for a state senator in Wisconsin, who then became a U.S. senator, and then came back home, if you will, and I was the executive director of Northwest Community Center, some guests that you're going to have on your show today from my friends at Northwest, and then went on to be the CEO of the YWCA. And then when I left the YWCA to have my son, who is now 22, I decided, what do I want to do next? And I thought, if I could shorten the learning curve for folks who are executive directors of nonprofits, I could maybe start an organization that provides education and training and support to nonprofit executives. And that's why and when I started the Northern Illinois Center for Nonprofit Excellence 20 years ago.
That's awesome. That is so cool. So the statement I saw here, Nicne strengthens nonprofits, leading collaboration and innovation in the nonprofit sector, welcoming you to explore offerings as well as benefits, becoming a Nicne member. So you're a membership-based organization.
Yeah, we're a membership-based organization. That's what helps sustain our operation. But many individuals, organizations are not members that can still take advantage of our programs. It's just you get discounts, and we have a funding directory that's part of the membership benefits. So there are benefits for being a member. But we served about 3,500 individuals last year.
Okay. I think the majority of folks who've done anything with volunteer work with not-for-profits probably are familiar with the term 501c3. I just recently learned that there are a whole bunch of 501c different numbers. Is that something that you help people figure out what best fits their organization?
We can. It's a very specific definition. But 75% of nonprofits are 501c3s, and public benefit organizations. Others might be a chamber of commerce or a fraternity organization, but most nonprofits are 501c3 charitable organizations. They get a tax deduction. People giving a gift to those organizations get a tax deduction for doing that. The one thing I want to make sure that you all understand is that 50 nonprofit is not a business model; it's a tax status.
It's a tax.
So it's a tax status. So nonprofits must generate a profit in order to remain viable and sustainable.
That's a really important distinction, because I think a lot of people that start nonprofits, they just kind of think, I'm here to break even, and that's really not the case, is it?
No, you think about it. I mean, you have to have some profit in order to sustain your operations. It's just that the profits in a nonprofit go back into the organization. Where in a business, it might be distributed to shareholders. So there's a huge and significant difference. The board of directors of a nonprofit are volunteers, where in a for-profit business, board members are often paid for their service.
I'm going to put in the chat here a link to your website. At least I think this is the one that we want to put up. You've got a couple of different resources here online that looks like we should bring it up. You have an affiliation with NIU, which
we do. We're affiliated with NIU, but we are a separate 501c3 ourselves.
Okay.
So we're an independent nonprofit corporation affiliated with NIU. So we're located at NIU Rockford. We utilize the space here. We share space here, and our offices are there. I'm an employee of NIU, but we are a separate nonprofit corporation that raises all of our funds to support our operation.
And I can only imagine there's a little bit of confusion with that, because this building is right there on the campus, basically, of Rockford University. Right? Is that?
No, we're from across the street from Showplace 16.
Oh, there we go.
State Street. We have our own facility at the conference center. Oftentimes, we have some classes that are offered here as well. We have our own facility. Yep.
8500 East State Street. Yeah, that's out there. That's out there by Showplace. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So when people go to your website and want to learn more about your offerings and stuff, kind of where do you send them first?
So it depends on what organizations are looking for.
Okay.
So we provide a variety of different supports and services to nonprofits. We provide Education and training. So that's a huge part of what we do. Of course, linked to a university, that would be a natural thought for folks. So we're sort of the central place for nonprofit staff and leaders, board members to gain and improve their skills, to get various training around best practices in the nonprofit sector. So we have like certificate program in nonprofit management. We provide grant writing training is a core program that we offer every year. And then we offer a variety of other things based on what organizations want and need. So our programs change throughout the year based on what it is we're hearing from the sector. We also provide consultation and technical assistance. So we provide supports for organizations that are unique to their needs. So it's one-on-one support to nonprofits in a variety of areas like strategic planning or human resource development or fund development, succession planning, team building, board development. So we provide a lot of those services as well. And then the other key component for us is we do advocacy for the sector. We collect data that's specific to nonprofit organizations, and we advocate for the sector. So we stay in tune and in touch with the issues and the changes, and we speak up and speak out on behalf of the sector as well, because we know that nonprofits play a profound role in our community and making sure that our community is a safe, healthy, and vibrant community.
You have a lot of folks involved with this organization, Pam. Are these a lot of instructors, past not-for-profit leaders that are helping current not-for-profit leaders grow and strengthen their organizations?
Yeah. You know, a lot of times when someone retires from the nonprofit sector, they still want to continue to give back. They just may be not wanting to do that on a full-time basis. So, you know, we reach out to those folks that are exceptional in the field and ask them if they would like to be on our consulting team to continue to provide supports and services and share their best practices and their expertise with nonprofits in our community. So we have a wonderful group of folks. You go on our website, you can take a look at our team, and we have just an extraordinary lineup of professionals that are willing to step up and support nonprofits in our community.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, as you and I talked before, what our show is all about is Rockford area not-for-profits and the businesses that support them. Is there something that you would say to a Rockford area business that's considering supporting a not-for-profit and wants to do it in the best way possible? Is there something that you would tell them that would encourage them in the direction that they are kind of asking to go?
You think about nonprofit organizations and you think about then your own life and how you may have been personally touched by a nonprofit organization. So I think about my life, right? And I think about friends or family, acquaintances, certainly that have taken advantage of services from a hospital, from a substance abuse program, someone that maybe was learned to play baseball or basketball from Boys and Girls Club or another community center. You think of the way that nonprofits have touched your life, and they touch the lives of the people that are in your place of business. So without some of the supports and the services that nonprofits provide in our community, our own employees, our own family members would not have access to those critical support services. And it may not necessarily even be critical support services like some that I mentioned, you know, food and shelter and mental health services, but it, you know, might also be the arts and culture. All of those organizations are nonprofit organizations. So it's kind of fun to think about that at this time of year. You think about, you know, It's a Wonderful Life, and what if nonprofits didn't exist? Mm-hmm. What if we didn't have homeless shelters? What if we didn't have domestic violence programs? What if we didn't have community centers? Our community would not be nearly as supportive or vibrant as it is because of the nonprofit sector. So I would encourage businesses to dig deep in their pockets, support their favorite nonprofit organization, and make sure that, you know, their employees understand the value of the sector as well, and that they too are supporting nonprofits, because without community support, our nonprofits would not be able to continue to operate.
You must have been reading my notes, because that's the exact question I was going to ask you. Think about a world where you didn't have all of that stuff. We have all benefited from it. My wife and I, years ago, well, here's a really good example. Our daughter is, she was juvenile diabetic. And we, at one point in our lives, our insurance had run out. I can't remember what the gap was, but we didn't have insulin for Carolyn, for my daughter. And we made a few phone calls, and through the help of some nonprofits. And again, this is probably 25 years ago, maybe even, about 26, 27 years ago, because I think she was 10 or 11. And we ended up getting 2 bottles of insulin that lasted us the next week until either a paycheck came in or whatever. It was a really rough patch in our lives. And I tell you what, you're exactly right. That's a very profound comment. Think of a world without nonprofits, because everybody has benefited in some way, shape, or form. I don't care if you've got money coming out the wazoo, you still have benefited somehow, some way from a nonprofit and the great work that you guys do.
Absolutely true. And so that's why we always say that nonprofits are the soul of the community.
Absolutely.
We're the soul of the community. Where we feed, we heal, we educate, we shelter, inspire, we enlighten, all those things. And that's the nonprofit sector. We are the soul.
Plus, when you go to bed at night, I can almost guarantee you this. Greg and I have been involved in certain projects that were, nonprofit or whatever you want to call it, for free, freebies, whatever, being DJs and such. When you go to bed at night, it's much easier to sleep, knowing that you didn't sell a bad car to an old lady who really needed a car, or a young kid who wants to go to college and back, and it's going to break down on I-90. So it's got to be rewarding. I know, because I've been involved in this type of work before. It's really cool.
This has been my entire life's work, right?
Yes.
Working in the nonprofit sector. And I could not be more honored to have served with people within the sector. These folks are friends for a lifetime. I have such admiration for the work that they do, and I am just profoundly grateful to be able to do this work every day.
And by the way, that wasn't a slam against used car salesmen, but that's
but we've all heard of them. We all heard of them.
We've all been taken by them. But I got one other thing for you. Go Huskies! Oh wait, I don't know.
I keep telling him he's got a mirror.
I'm mirrored, so that is NIU.
That's
great with there.
Great.
So,
Thanks for the promo.
As a way to wrap this all up for you, Pam, the organization that you created here almost 20 years ago now, it almost seems like something to me that would be a nationwide thing. If it's not a franchise, maybe it should be. Are you a part of a nationwide network of Center for Nonprofit Excellence, not-for-profit things across the country?
Well, it's funny that you say that, Greg. We actually 20 some years ago, when I was looking at starting a Nicne, I went to Louisville, Kentucky, where there was a Center for Nonprofit Excellence. And I met with them and said, what are you doing? What are you doing well? What would you wish you would have done differently? And learn from their best practices and learn from their mistakes to come back to Rockford and start our own center. And since that time, there have been many other centers that have started, one in DeKalb. I just talked to some folks in the Quad Cities who I had consulted for a while as they were getting their centers started. So there are growing numbers of centers across the country, but we were I think the first in Illinois to get started. But now we are seeing more and more centers because they're like every community needs a Center for Nonprofit Excellence.
Yeah.
So, we serve our key focus is a 5-county area, but we served 28 counties last year. And so, and we just can't handle all the full capacity. There's, we serve 3,500 individuals from 337 nonprofits in 28 counties. And so the opportunity to have each centers, the service areas of Centers for Nonprofits connect with one another would only be good for the entire country to have their own centers.
It's pretty impressive. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, I've got the link up. I'm trying to put it on the chat, and for some reason it doesn't seem to be coming through on everything that we normally do, but let me see if we can maybe at least put it up as a as a caption on here. If someone wants to get a hold of you and ask you some questions, Pam, what's really the best way to get in touch with you?
So you can email me at pclark1@niu.edu, or you can contact me. My office number is 815-753-8733.
Awesome. Well, I got a feeling that some folks are going to reach out to you and ask you some questions. I know when I heard about what you were doing a few years ago, I was like, we're eventually going to get together, and it just took too long. Was it Danny DeSario's event over at NIU that I think where I finally got a chance to meet you and corner you and say, hey, we need to talk. I'm glad I got your card. It's still sitting here, right here on my desk, because I know we needed to talk, and I'm really glad we had you on today. I anticipate having you back on again in the near future to go further into some of the stuff that you have coming up to help local not-for-profits, because I definitely want to make sure to do all I can to help you promote what you're doing to help local not-for-profits strengthen themselves and do their work to the best of their abilities.
Great.
So
Many thanks for allowing me to be on today. And yes, I'd be happy to come on again.
I see Nichol is down here on the screen too somewhere. I don't know if her camera's shut off or shut on or there. There you are, Nichol. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us today. Before we let Pam go, I wanted to make sure we got a chance for you guys to say hello and thank you, Pam, for connecting us.
Yes.
Oh, my pleasure. Hi, Nicole.
Good morning, Pam. Thank you so much for connecting Greg and I. And you just answered a question that I had. I was wanting to know how long we've been involved with Nicne. So I'm going to have to assume as soon as your inception, when you started Nicne, we've been involved for that long. I know I've been here 14 years, so I know the last 14 years we've been, a member of Nicne. So you answer my question.
Yeah, you've been with us from the start, Nicole. Thank you.
Right.
Well, the executive director before you, Nichol, was probably the guinea pig for Pam.
Yeah,
two before her actually.
Yeah, two. Yeah, so I've been. It's actually three. It's been three.
Okay.
I started with Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson was the one that hired me. So, and then we had Dave, and then we had Tabitha. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Dave in there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now cool. I obviously don't know Nichol as well as you do, Pam. So before we let you go, is there something you want to ask Nichol? Pam, do you want something you want to ask Nichol, or maybe help segue into what she does in such a way that I could never do because I just don't know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, Northwest Community Center is a gem. It is an absolute jewel in Northwest Rockford, providing critical services, not just to Northwest Rockford, but the entire community. Mm-hmm. So I will let her tell her story, but I just have such admiration for Nichol and the work that they're doing at Northwest.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You enjoy your weekend, Pam, and thanks for carving out time to be on with us today.
My pleasure. Have fun. Thank you again.
Northern Illinois Center for
Have a great weekend.
Nonprofit
Merry
Excellence.
Christmas.
I got this great big banner I'm putting up here now for Nichol. 75th anniversary this year for the center.
Yes.
And you said you've been involved for 14 years now already. That's amazing.
Yes, I've been here September made 14 years.
And for those, I know Pam just kind of said a little bit about what you guys do, but for those who have no clue what the Northwest Community Center is all about, what do you tell people when they ask you, what do you do? And what is this organization all about?
Well, we provide services for youth, elementary age kids, also teens. We have some adult programs as well. And then we partner with other organizations, other non-for-profit and just other organizations here in town where they offer different community events. We also provide space for individuals that want to rent it for whatever reason. Our gymnasium right now, currently we have a soccer team that, uses the gym for practice a couple nights out of the week. Let's see, I mentioned our elementary age programs, which is an after school program and also summer camp. And that's both the teen and also the elementary age kids. We have a junior tackle football program, which is ran by volunteers. I mean, just a great group of guys that oversee that program.
Northwest
The
Knights.
past couple of years. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Northwest Knights.
Yep. Yes.
We've had many a run-in with the Northwest Knights. I'm a Nelson Stormer. I'm sorry. Don't hate
Okay. No, not at all. I mean, I love it. When I first got involved, when I first came to work here at Northwest Community Center, I used to attend a lot of the football games, and I was just amazed at how many individuals. You would have thought it was an NFL game.
That's great.
Amazed at how many individuals were actually into the football. I'm like, where have I been?
As a parent of a kid who played. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I think go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then the last 2 years, 2023 and then also 2022, we had a free tax program. It was the VITA tax program where we offered free taxes to individuals as long as they, we're in a certain income guideline.
You got some tax preparers helping them out.
Yes, and that was ran solely by volunteers as well. We have a walk. You have a question? Oh,
I'm just bringing up the website here.
Okay.
People at it.
Walking club for older adults. We allow individuals to come in a couple days out of the week to just use the gymnasium to walk. Now that the weather is starting to get a little chilly, we allow them to come here. We also partner with the CSEP Older Volunteer Program, which is in partnership with National Able, where we provide work experiences for older adults. Let's see, our adult program for women, it's called Empowering Women for Success. It's a job readiness and resume building job placement program. So we have a program director who oversees that program. And then, as I mentioned before, we have the low cost facility rentals. And then we also partner with the Let's Talk Teen program, which is with the Kendal Sherman Foundation, and that's Tamica. She'll be joining us as well. And her program is she served teens, middle school age, and also high school age kids. And then we also partner. We have our community service program where we allow individuals to come in and do their community service work, and we and those are funneled through Winnebago Juvenile and Adult Probation. So those are some of the things we do here.
A lot of different programs going on: basic computer classes, open computer lab, like you said, youth, adult, and senior. Different the Empowering Women for Success, rental services for the facility that you've got out there as well. And the next big thing I see on your calendar looks like to be the big Santa Day week from today.
Yes, that's our breakfast with Santa. In the past, we've always had a breakfast event, but it was mainly just for the families that we served here. This year, I decided that we should open it up to the community, partner with some other local agencies, and open it up to the community. And as you can see, we have plenty of partners there on the flyer that's going to be working with us. That's next Saturday. So the breakfast will be from 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. in our corporate building, which is the building behind our main building. And then we also will be providing the La Jefas Multicultural Barbershop will be providing free haircuts to children ages 2 to 18. And the haircutting will take place in our gymnasium. And that'll be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Awesome. Okay. And for those who don't know where you guys are, you're not far from Auburn High School.
No, not at all.
The just north of Auburn on Johnston Avenue.
Yes.
1325 North Johnston Avenue. You back up there to the creek, basically.
Yes.
And how much is there? A lot of outdoor space that you have out there too, or is it mostly just the indoor facility?
No, we have over 10 acres of land here. It's a lot of land. Yeah, so we have the football field. At one point, when we offered baseball, there's a softball field out there also.
Okay.
So there's a lot of land. We're on a lot of acres.
Well, for those again who want to take advantage of this event, 1 week from today, 9:30 to 12:30 at the Northwest Community Center, breakfast with Santa. You're probably, is this something that you really want people to sign up for, or they can just show up?
They can just show up. We decided we'll just, allow individuals to show up. I mean, we will only be able to feed, so many, but, there's other activities and different things that individuals will be able to take part in. So, yeah.
You've got some great sponsors going on here locally, and there's a few names I'm not very familiar with. Do you want to fill us in on any of these sponsor folks that we know Midland and we know Rock Valley College? Who are these other folks?
Well, we have Fine Minds Inc., and he'll be taking the photographs and also DJing for us. We have Awaken Foundation. That organization will do an activity with the kids. We have a Molina and Aetna Healthcare. The Kendal Sherman Foundation, as I mentioned before, that's Tamica Frick. She's on here. We have Love and Loyalty Biker Group. And we also have Rockford Public Library. So all those individuals will do an activity with the kids. So
awesome. Well, I anticipate if the weather's decent, you know how it is in Rockford. If the weather's going to be icky, you can't expect too many people to show up. But if the weather's decent, I bet you have a pretty good turnout.
I think we're going to have a pretty good turnout. If nothing else, individuals, because the folks that are coming to actually get free haircuts. So they'll be able to get a free haircut, and they're planning to have at least 10 to 15 barbers. So I think we're going to be very busy here next Saturday.
Nice. Now I got Tamica here ready to jump on with us too, and I imagine you two know each other pretty well.
I think so. I think we have the same last name. I think we do know each other pretty well.
I'm not one to assume anything. I don't know if it's a family thing, by marriage thing, or just happens to be a total,
I was adopted into the family. No, that's a joke. We're related.
Well, Tamica is going to explain to us about what this Kendal Sherman Foundation is all about. But before we get into that, Nichol, is there anything else you want to add before we let you go this morning?
No, not at all. I think that's it.
Well, I appreciate your time and hope nothing but the best for your awesome event coming up a week from today.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Greg. I got a thing for Nicole. She, I think we was having technical difficulties because she was sending me bear memes. She's a bear.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
We need to hurry up and get her off of the screen.
All right,
I
Nicole,
am not a Packer fan.
Your time is short. We're going to have to say goodbye. No, I'm kidding. Right there.
I am a diehard Bear fan, even though they have not won the championship since the 80s. I'm still a diehard Bear fan.
I believe that was the Reagan administration the last time they won.
Exactly. I was in middle school. You're right.
Here's something I don't understand. So while we go down this bunny trail, I'll go down it with you. That's okay. It seems to me Bears fans kind of forget that they went to the Super Bowl with Lovie Smith, and the only reason they lost because Peyton Manning was crazy awesome. I mean, if it wasn't for Peyton Manning and the Colts, the Bears would have had another.
Right.
That's and they had Devin Hester. I mean, come on, Devin Hester.
And they did it with Rex Grossman as their quarterback. I mean, Rex Grossman, he's probably bagging groceries in Seattle right now. I mean, really,
I know.
Rex Grossman.
I know.
So no, you're right. And that was. So they've been in a couple of Super Bowls. It was kind of funny. The running joke after the Packers lost their very first Super Bowl that they lost in '98 to John Elway, Bear fans are saying, well, we've won all of our Super Bowls. Yeah. Well, now you can't say that. You're 1-1. We're 3-1.
All right, Nicole. Great to meet you, and look forward to connecting with you again in the future. All right.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Good to see you yesterday, too. Thanks for coming to Link Lunch.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I was able to make it. That was nice. And I plan to attend some more of those events and invite other individuals as well.
Second Friday of every month.
Swing by with a bear for you if you want, a Packer bear if you want. Hang it on your Christmas tree.
As I mentioned with Pam from Nicne, our whole, our heart is to connect Rockford area not-for-profits with businesses that will support them. And that happens lunch often. So keep coming back and meet new people and find out who connects best with you. It'll be a good.
Great. Thank you.
I think so. There goes Nichol, and now Tamica, you are in the spotlight here. Tell us what in the world is the Kendal Sherman Foundation?
So I lost my only daughter to asthma in 2015. Her asthma was triggered by a virus called enterovirus, which to test for that is $20,000. So we pretty much wouldn't have known. But she contracted it, and had an asthma attack. She passed away September 28th of 2015. And the pain that I went through over those few months, I didn't want any other parent to go through or to deal with. So I formed and created the Kendal Sherman Foundation January of 2016 to raise asthma awareness in the community, to talk to parents about, the triggers and the signs of asthma, to talk to kids, to let them know that it's okay to use your inhaler in front of others, kids, even at school. Because, when Kendal was growing up, she had to take her inhaler to school. Over the years, the nurse would always keep it in the office, but her asthma was so severe that I used to be like, keep this one in your book bag just in case you can't make it to the nurse's office. So some kids were like, why are you using, like, what is that for? Make jokes. So I let kids know, like, it's not okay to bully other kids when they're trying to save their lives. And for the kids that have asthma, it's okay to use that inhaler because you need that to survive.
Gosh, yeah. You see people with inhalers. It's not totally uncommon. So it's become more common, I think. But yeah, I can imagine there's a little bit of a stigma with that, especially with young people that don't know what they're looking at.
Yes.
So
that's what I started doing. I'm also a mentor, and so now I have a teen program under the foundation as well. One of my goals and what I've always installed in my children is always to give back as well. So on side of raising asthma awareness, we do CPR first aid training, active shooter training. We have the AMY program. That's a program where someone don't have transportation to pick up their medication, then they'll send a link, click on the link and schedule, and we'll go pick up their medication and drop it off to them. Because that's something I dealt with as well when Kendal was alive. My car was broke down or whatever, and I couldn't go pick up her medicine. So I would walk to Walgreens to go grab her medicine. So I don't want someone else that can't go get their medicine. We can go get it and drop it off to you.
Nice.
We also so I think that's about it. We have a big announcement coming up next month, so I'll save that.
I'm scrolling through here and I'm going, hey, I know Lauren. I've worked with Lauren before. Lauren Gaydon is an exceptional individual. She's great.
Yes.
I've helped her with her real estate holdings and stuff. She's bought a few rental properties, and so that's really cool that we have that connection too. So you do have an event coming up that is next month, you say?
Yeah. So, right now we're partnered with Northwest. We'll be doing the cookies with the breakfast with Santa, and then we also will be hosting an event at the Urban Strong House on December 23rd from 12 to 3. We partner with the United Way. We're going to be doing a cookie decorating contest, and that's open to the community, free to the public. That flyer. So we also every year, because as I give to the community, I do a community Thanksgiving dinner every single year. And it's at 7 years now. We just did the last one. We do it at Northwest Community Center, either in their corporate building or in the gym. That flyer is flip-flops and tops, where we collect flip-flops and tank tops to give back to those that need it. That flyer there, we did, that was part of our flip-flops and tops, but we also did sack lunches for those that's less fortunate.
I'm kind of letting this cycle through because you got all the.
So I do a lot. I get questioned like, what do you do? And I'm like, what don't I do? When it comes to the community, I'm all in. So
you've done a lot of different stuff with this. So and being able to partner with the Northwest Community Center, I mean, that's a pretty nice natural fit for what you need and the needs that your organization would have for meetings and such or events. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So are you currently looking for volunteers? I see you got Ice Hogs Nonprofit of the Game coming up. Good for you on that.
Yes.
That's fun. I'm really proud of the Ice Hogs for doing that this season. That's a great idea. Is there anything that you can say that would be a natural place for people to plug in and volunteer with you guys right now?
Yes. So as of right now, we have, like I said, the event coming up on the 23rd. I need volunteers for that.
Okay.
And then starting in January, we're planning on adding 3 more events to our already calendar. We had a board meeting the other night, and they were just like, "You want to do what?" I'm like, "Yep, okay, let's do this." So, and Lauren, she's all for it. She be ready to go. So we're going to partner with the pregnancy center and do an event with them as well for 2024. So
cool. Well, we want to keep all informed as to your events coming up, so we can kind of help you promote that as well as best as we can. Okay. And when you get closer to those events in 2024, let us know so we can have you back on and we can help you promote that too. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to add before we let you go here today?
Nope. I think that's it.
Well, Tom, did you want to throw in anything before we let her go?
Well, there was one thing I wanted to say. Go Pack Go. One thing I wanted to say, and it's very important. You touched on something about the asthma inhaler. I have a somewhat similar story of how kids are bullying and picking on whatever. My daughter, as I mentioned earlier, Amazon, is a juvenile diabetic. She's had her pump for 20 years now. Well, anyway, she was in middle school, 7th grade, 8th grade, I can't remember. The principal thought it was a pager, yanked it out. And I thought, oh my God, if a principal is doing that, I'm not mentioning names, doesn't matter. And she felt horrible. She felt horrible, of course, didn't realize it. So those are the types of things that I'm so glad you're here to teach that kind of stuff, to educate people. Because those are the types of things. We were very, very upset, but we understood everything was fine. All it did was it created a little mark on her belly right there. You couldn't see me touching my belly, but anyway. And that's all it did. It wasn't no harm, no foul, because intent wasn't for it. She thought it was a pager. And this was back in the day when, you're in 8th grade. What do you need a pager for, right? Well, it wasn't a pager. So I really appreciate stories like that. And the fact that you're helping people understand that you better think before you speak. You better look before you leap. Yep. You better kind of go through the progressions in your mind before you make some sort of an action would be detrimental to someone else. So thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you.
And yes, of course, go Packers. Yes.
Now, are you a lifelong Packer fan, or is that something that's a later development in life?
I really didn't watch sports, but Kendal, my daughter, was like, she was the only girl. I have 4 kids, so her brothers are older. She would have been 19 this year, but she just developed this thing for sports. So she was, oh my gosh, diehard Packer all the way. Named every player, even the ones that didn't play, the bench players. She named them all, and I'm sitting there like, hey.
That's awesome.
So, yes,
it's so awesome.
Some people were like, she's 10. I'm like, and she knows a lot about sports. So as you know, she got sick, and I was like, it was like inherited. Like, nope, I'm a Packer fan now. I never watch, but now I watch every game, every single game that's on Monday, Sunday, to whatever day it comes on. I'm watching, whether it's the Packers or not. But yes, I am a Packers fan. When she passed away, someone sent the email over to them, and they sent me all kind of stuff, like signed autographed footballs and pictures. And
Nice.
So on a somewhat related story, let me just say this. A lot of great people have gone through Northwest Community Center, and I'm talking about kids. You keep kids off the street. People don't understand how important something like this is. I'm floating Boys and Girls Club, so I'm kind of in the same, I'm a tutor out there. And Northwest is such a great organization. Now Fred didn't play for Northwest. He played for Fred Van Vliet. He played for Nelson Storm. I know Fred personally. My son played with him. Dean Lowry on the same team. These are 2 stars. Well, Dean's not so much a star. He's a good player in the NFL with those hated Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. And Fred, of course, Fred is just phenomenal. He's awesome. I have pictures of me and Fred at the radio station and all of that. You've met Fred, Greg, many times. Anyway, we don't understand what a gem Northwest Community Center is for how it does two things. It creates men and women out of young boys and girls, but it also keeps them off the street, gives them a purpose, gives them something to glom onto rather than joining the bad crowd or something like that. So again, thank you for that.
And to touch on that, my teen program meets Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at Northwest. We initially did one day, and the kids came to me like, Miss Tamica, we need to be here more.
Yeah.
So I talked to Nichol, and she was like, what do y'all want? And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm only one person. I do need a day off. So we're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, if I get volunteers that want to come in and, help out and facilitate a program or, and help along with them, then I'll do Monday through Friday. But like Nicole's teen program is Monday through Friday. Mine is just 3 days out of the week. So,
okay. Hey, every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps. Well, best to you and to your upcoming events. And like I said, we're going to definitely reconnect again down the line so we can have you back and promote those things. So,
all right.
Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks, Tamica.
Bye.
God bless.
So that's awesome. The Kendal Sherman Foundation.org got that link up on the chat as well. Joann is at PAWS Humane Society this morning. I wonder how noisy it is at PAWS today. Is it a busy place, Joann?
No,
kind of chilling today.
Yeah, I thought we were getting dogs today, but I didn't see any new dogs. So
no dogs yet.
I would notice if we got dogs, I would think.
All right.
We would all know.
I need to catch my breath for a minute, okay? Can I just take a breather? Woo! That was awesome. As I was explaining to Pam at the beginning of the show, rarely do I ever double book a show. So to triple book, and actually we were possibly expecting a fourth person to jump on too, and they weren't able to jump on today. But
we have two more guests.
No, that's it. That's it. The fourth one I wasn't able to make it. That's okay.
I did do a bingo at the community center before.
Okay.
I didn't win anything, but
I think we've talked about this as a potential thing, and we're going to try it next week. We are going to be on location once again for the first time since we did Sherry's place. We're going to Rock House Kids next Saturday. They've got a big event, a volunteer event, gift wrapping their presents for their kids. And they have, I want to say it's over 1,000 gifts to wrap.
Wow.
It's over 1,000 gifts to wrap. And from what I understand, there's between 60 and 80 people signed up to be a part of the gift wrapping extravaganza that's taking place next Saturday at Rock House Kids. We're going to be there live on location, seeing all
are we all going to be on the same, like now we use 3 different devices.
I know.
Are we going to use the same device and all squeeze together, or?
Well, there's 2 ways we can go about this. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to have my laptop there to log in, for one to like the main station. But if we each use our phones, or you can bring your iPad and see if you can connect to their Wi-Fi as well, we might be able to all be on separate devices. It could get too noisy though. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to all pan out with the volume levels of what we're going to see and hear at Rock House Kids next Saturday.
You might have to go in the bathroom and talk.
That would not be good. We don't want to do that. But Rock House Kids, we're going to give that a try next week for their annual wrapping party, and that should be something else. It's already 8:52, so why don't we do a quickie little update at PAWS before we get to our big number of the week, and then Tom and I can veer off into Packer talk for a little bit.
Oh yeah, you sticking with us today for Packer talk, Joann?
I don't usually have anything to add, so I was going to say for PAWS, did you want a tour?
Well, why don't we try to keep it to just a featured couple of cats?
But I was going to see us next week. I thought next week was our 12 hours adoption event.
Oh,
From 9 to 9,
that's next week.
the 16th. Is that, do I have the date right?
Dun-dun-dun. Let me see if I can look that up real quick.
It would be
'cause
the 16th. Yeah, right.
So that's, and I wanted to say the Santa was our second largest fundraiser event. We saw over 70 dogs. It was awesome.
Wow.
Our Santa was super wonderful. The pictures were wonderful. It was a busy, busy, busy day, but I mean, we saw so many dogs, my head was spinning.
Village Green on North Main, congratulations. Kudos to you guys for doing such an awesome job again.
Oh my goodness, it was wonderful.
Nice. So yeah, next Saturday is the 12 hours, the 12 adoption hours of PAWS, 9 to 9. And cats available by appointment only from 6 to 9 p.m. Or is that supposed to say dogs available by appointment only?
Probably dogs.
It was probably dogs because you got all the cats there already. So dogs by appointment only, 6 to 9 p.m. The 12 hours of PAWS next Saturday, 9 until 9. Submit an adoption application through pawshs.org. That would be the way to go right there. Awesome.
So that's always a fun event. And that
Yes.
kind of is like our anniversary because we moved into this building in December. I don't know how many years it's been.
Yeah, how long has it been now? Their PAWS building. Has it been 10 years yet? It's probably getting pretty close.
I don't know. I should know that, right?
What year did they dedicate the building? Was it I don't remember.
I want to say
December
it was like 2016 or something.
There should be a thing somewhere. This is here it is. Saturday, February 4th, 2017. This is this is the news release.
So it's your 7th year anniversary coming up in February.
This is the woman who it's dedicated to.
Yes.
She died of ovarian cancer, I think.
I believe it was Sunil Puri's daughter.
Yes, I was trying to read it real fast.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah.
But there's her picture. So this is who the building was dedicated to. Saturday, February 4th, 2017. So I think that was, I don't know why I think December is our anniversary. I was going to focus on this cat. She has come a long way and she's become really friendly. She was neglected in her home. They didn't have time for her, which is something I have trouble believing. And she was kind of in a state of depression. And now she's come out of her depression and she wants to be loved.
Nice.
I
So
love
you
her.
have room for a loving cat that needs a lot of loving. So now she's going to show us her butt. But she's very active now and very loving. So we're kind of excited that she's come out of her shell.
Such a beautiful cat, too.
She even looks a little bit thinner, but maybe that's because she's standing up and not squatted down.
I was going to say she looks pretty well fed.
I was going to say, yeah, she looks like she's been taken care of there at PAWS really well.
Well, she came in that way.
How do you know? I'm not trying to make a joke, but how do you know when a cat is depressed? Because cats tend to lay around for 12 to 14 hours a day. I mean, how would you know?
Well,
She
16
told
to
me
18
she was depressed.
She told you. Okay. Well, you need to teach me how to speak cat because.
Yeah, she said, Joann, I'm so depressed.
All right.
You can tell when they're depressed, when they're hiding in their cages and not coming out for pets, not being active, not interacting with people. Not going to Christmas parties.
Avoiding the Christmas parties.
Not wanting to go
home.
into the main room with all the other cats. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm making fun of you, Tom, right? Tearing up your plates.
No, you're good. You're good. It's all in good fun.
It was a sad thing, and now she wants to interact with people and come out and play.
Yeah. She would love it at my house. Like I said, the boss won't let me, but I would have 8 of them if I could.
This is a problem in my house. I have no one who says no to me. Oh, just at me.
I'm not ready yet. I need to be acclimated.
Oh, she's mad. That's because her name is Eve and Adam gave her an apple. Adam said it was your fault. You gave me the apple. Ooh, she's a little feisty.
Talker.
She came in as a stray. Yeah. Not a happy camper. So that's kind of was that a quick enough glimpse? I'm sorry, I got carried away as usual.
That's a nice little glimpse of what's going on at PAWS today. So let's bring it back. Will it let me adjust to this time? Yes. All right. 815-299-PAWS.
Oh, this is my favorite dog here.
Santa dog.
Decorated for Christmas at our shelter. So.
All right, let's do this. It's our big number of the with our current race to 10 tied at a score of 5 apiece. Our big number of the week this week is
very exact.
756,096,000. That's a exact number, all right. Copies or cash is the answer. Copies or cash. Tom has texted me his guess. So we're looking for your guess now, Joann. And
I would say not a guess, my answer.
Ooh, she knows.
My answer is cash.
Check it out.
She says, I know this one. I'm going to say it's cash. A Largo, Florida area Titanic superfan is seeking to collect 1 million VHS copies of the movie Titanic. That's his goal. 1 million copies. I have no idea. Here's the other weird thing about this one. So far, he's got about 2,500 copies. He's got a long way to go.
Did they even make 1 million copies?
Good question.
Is that so no one else can ever watch it? What is the reason? I don't see a reason. If you have one copy, why do you need 1 million?
Well, each copy has two tapes because it was such a long movie. So it's 2 VHS tapes for the Titanic movie. If you just do some quick math, he would need about 33,500 cubic feet worth of tapes to store. That's a lot of space. That's a lot of rent. He's got to have some plan for these tapes. If he does actually get 1 million of them, where are they going to go? I don't get it. Joann,
I don't own that.
You're getting a point. Congratulations.
Yay!
76,096,000 is the number of $50 bills that the United States government printed in the year 2022 alone. The highest number of the denomination printed in the last 40 years. That's over $37.5 billion. Now, here's the thing. The $50 bill is typically one of the less frequently ordered bills. However, during the pandemic, Americans began keeping more cash on hand, not to make purchases, but just to save. So our country now has an abundance of $50 bills saved and stashed around people's homes, apparently, because that's what they wanted instead of a bunch of 20s. I don't know. It's a lot of money. And anyway, we've talked about in the past, because of my real estate stuff, what the economy's doing in the real estate market, and all this money that's got to be absorbed back into the government because they put it out there that with no real value to it. All this stimulus money that they put out there during the pandemic.
Let's just print money. Why not?
Funny money. I mean, that's why inflation is so crazy.
I wanted to apologize to missing your party because I was going through a depression this last week.
I'm sorry.
I lost a dear friend, and it was kind of hard on me. I didn't realize how hard it could be. So I'm trying to get back into my jolly self. But
I don't think there's an apology necessary, Joann.
No.
Everybody.
Sometimes you need some alone time.
So sorry to hear about that.
Yeah. I don't. Okay, I'm not good, but it was harder than I realized.
Yeah.
Well, just know that we're here for you. And next Saturday, we're going to be doing some really good stuff, wrapping gifts for kids.
I should better by then, right?
That's going to be fun.
Do I need to dress up?
I would put something on that's Christmassy. Absolutely.
I'm going to wear my Snoopy sweater.
He's going to come as a Grinch.
Do I have a Grinch costume? That'd be kind of fun.
You're wrapping presents, huh?
This one of those just for me. I'm thinking those are a bunch of those need to be for me. I didn't get any shout out.
Roast. It smells so delectable. Anyway.
And that's going to be starting at 8:00.
Well, we're going to be going live at 8:00. I believe their volunteers start arriving at 8:00, so it should be quite an event. It should be quite an event. So anyway, look forward to seeing you out there.
I've been working on my rapping skills. I don't mean to brag. But they know my name from coast to coast. Is that what we're doing, right? We're rapping.
This is going to be an interesting show next week, everybody.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It'll be a very interesting show. All right, Joann, we'll let you go, and we'll see you Saturday.
See you next week.
Bye.
All right,
next week.
Yes. So before we get to some Packer talk, some real quick shout outs. I had a lot going on this week that I wanted to acknowledge.
And I've got a couple of things I want to do as well. So when you're done.
Awesome. Well, first off, thanks to Riley and Joe, WROK. They had me on their show on Monday morning to help promote the in-crowd event that we did Wednesday. So awesome. It was nice to hang with them in the studio for a few minutes again and talk all things in-crowd. The in-crowd event on Wednesday night at Wild Cherries in Belvedere was just one of the best in-crowd events that we've ever had. Dr. Sally and especially his wife, Elizabeth, she organized just a wonderful, wonderful event with the stuff that was donated. And she said over and over again, hey, I organized it, but it was you guys that made this event what it is. And we had some great support, people that donated a lot of cool stuff. We raised over $3,300 for Mosaic on Wednesday night.
Wow.
So that's going to go a long way to help them and the folks that they serve here in Rockford. So thank you to all those who contributed to In Crowd's annual fundraiser event at Wild Cherries on Wednesday. Our next In Crowd will be the last Thursday of January, and we're going to be at DLT Refinishing, which is on Stenstrom in Rockford, on the south side of Rockford. And we'll get you more details on that as we get closer. Congratulations and shout outs to Brandon and Lindsay. They brought their new house in South Beloit and closed on that this week. And to Alex, who purchased an investment property in Beloit. And that was really cool to be able to close we did our closing actually at the KW office in Beloit, which is still being finished. There's still a lot to be finished in that office, but it looks great. What's it called? The Ironworks buildings.
Yes.
One of the Ironworks buildings now has a Keller Williams office in it on the second floor, and that's coming together really, really nicely. So
that whole place, that whole area up there is unbelievable. That is so cool.
Nice.
That was ABC Supply.
Yeah.
Sharon Hendricks, I believe her name is, or Diane Hendricks. Diane Hendricks. Yep. Her husband passed away and left her all of they were in partnership together. And she is now the richest woman in America.
She runs a great organization. They do great.
And she put back so much money into that downtown area. Unbelievable. And she personally funded the ABC Supply Stadium, where the flying carp, or whatever they're called.
The sky carp.
The sky carp. There you go. Sky carp. Beloit sky carp.
Yeah. That's a beautiful.
So that is absolutely awesome stuff.
I want to give a shout out to ROTD Crafters Corner on North 2nd Street. They did some signs for me, and they got them done in time for the Wednesday event, which was really, really nice. And I'm looking forward to revealing some of that stuff here on this show coming up soon. GTTN, Growing Together Through Networking, met Wednesday morning. Joe Bartz from DuraClean presented, and it was nice to get to know some of his story of how he started his business and learn more about what DuraClean does. Yesterday was Linked Lunch at Machine Shed. Diane Logston, the master of disaster, gave us all a bunch of great information to be better prepared in case of a disaster. And she educated us on some things that I'm sure a lot of us had no clue about. One of the things she mentioned, we're at much greater risk of earthquakes here in Illinois than they are in California.
Yeah, but ours here are like a 3.2 on the scale. California, when they get them, they're a 7.8. They do some serious damage. I think what she's saying, I agree with. I'm not trying to dispel what she's saying, but we get probably more of them, but we just don't notice it as much as when California gets them.
Her big point was we're due for another big one. The last big one was so long ago that it rang church bells in Boston and in Atlanta. And it affected almost the whole country because of where Illinois is located, and we're overdue for one that could last a long time.
When I was in third grade, this would have been early 70s probably, but whatever it was, I don't know, late 60s, early 70s. I remember we had an earthquake, and there was a hole about this big, probably bat size, maybe a little smaller, in our school playground. We're like, what happened? And there was a crack in the playground cement, and we had no idea what had happened. We didn't feel it had happened probably 3 or 4 in the morning. Everybody was sleeping. I remember that, and I don't know if that was the last one we were talking about. That would have been 45 years ago, probably 48 years or whatever. So,
and I think what she said was it's been about 70 or 80 years since the last major earthquake in that area.
Right. Yeah, this was not a major one.
So, it's graduation day for our daughter Mariah. So congratulations to Mariah on graduating from college today. She's excited. We're excited for her. And the next stage and the next story and chapter in her life book is going to be awesome. And then one last thing, again, with the in-crowd event for the fundraiser for Mosaic on Wednesday night was John Berlin's last night as being the chief organizer of in-crowd. He's for the last 9 years, he's kept this group together, and we're so happy and proud of what he's done in the last 9 years. And for the last 2, he's been trying to convince me to take it over, and I kept saying no. And about a year ago, I said maybe, and that started.
That's all he needed. Yeah,
that's all he needed. So starting in January, I'll be taking over the in-crowd networking group, and we've got a few little tweaks here and there that we're going to be making not any wholesale changes, but we are doing some rebranding, I guess you could say. So one of the things that we unveiled at Wednesday's event was the new logo for the in-crowd, and it's going in-crowd 815 networking group is what we will be known as starting going forward, and looking forward to going and growing all things in-crowd into 2024 and beyond.
I love that pink bird up in the upper right-hand corner. That's kind of cool. Looks like a flamingo is taking flight. I'm kidding.
Rockford flamingo. All right, so let's let's wrap up things with some Packer talk. What do you say? The Green Bay Packers.
One thing before we do that, if you don't mind, we talked about Danielle earlier from NAMI. We're going to be doing a fundraiser, and she'll come on and tell us all about it. But NAMI is a great organization, National Alliance for Mental Health, mental illness. There you go, National Alliance for Mental Illness. We are going to be. I'm going to be hosting. I'm going to be doing a trivia party for it. I believe we talked yesterday. We weren't exactly sure. It's going to be $150 per table. So if you get 8 people, I think it's like $17, $18 a person or something like that. Or if you want to come and play on your own, it's $20. It's a nice little donation. There'll be prizes. There'll be 50-50. There'll be a lot of different things. So more about that in the future. But just be thinking about it. It'll be a fun night. A couple of hours of just fun and frivolity. Some prizes, some giveaways, gift cards given out, you know, just the regular stuff that you would have. And it's not just trivia. Think about it this way. You can have a chance. You can order food because it'll be at Park Lanes on, and they got a really big space back there. You can order food, and they have really good food there. Drinks if you want them, and a lot of fun and a chance to win prizes, a chance to win raffles, a 50-50. But the best thing about it is you are helping a very worthwhile cause. And that is the best part of the whole thing. So I just wanted to put that out there. We'll talk more about it in the future. And Danielle, we were talking yesterday, and I said one day in the next month or so, we'll get you on and you can talk about it. So,
cool.
And yeah, so there you go.
All right.
Oh.
So I did not predict a victory for the Packers on Sunday night, and boy was I wrong. They owned that game. Owned it.
Okay, I'm not going to say I predicted a victory. I'm not going to say that at all because I don't think I did. In my mind, I always think the Packers can win. They could be playing Philadelphia in Philadelphia, and I still think they can win because any given Sunday. They beat Detroit on Thanksgiving Day, for crying out loud. Yeah. Then they beat Kansas City. Oh my goodness, I think this team is really good, and I don't think anybody wants to play the Packers going into the playoffs. And I know I'm speaking ahead. I've already got them in the playoffs, but right now they hold the 7th wild card.
Look what they did. Chargers, Lions, Chiefs, 3 weeks in a row. They won. Mm-hmm. Now they beating the Chargers, not a big surprise, but the Chargers had been good in the past. They're not so great this year.
Chargers have a lot of talent. You got a world-class quarterback. You've got Joey Bosa. You've got Austin Eckler. And that defense, which has been much maligned, Joe Barry's defense has been much maligned all year long. They're figuring it out, buddy. They are figuring it out. And they are causing turnovers. They're stopping them on third down. The Packers have been notorious for giving up third down conversions, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 7. And they've been giving up third down conversions all year long, these last 4 or 5 games. And it isn't just the last 3 games. Before that, they lost a game that they shouldn't have lost to Pittsburgh. They should not have lost that game. Before that, they beat who did they beat before Pittsburgh? It escapes me right now.
Oh gosh, they beat this. Was it the Saints?
Oh, the Saints was a while ago. That was week 3.
They lost to the Raiders. They shouldn't have lost that game.
No,
either.
And they shouldn't have lost to Denver.
Yeah.
I don't remember who that other win was against, but nonetheless, they are putting it all together. Right now, Jordan Love is a very scary quarterback. If you're an opposing defense, he's a very scary quarterback because he's got the one thing that any quarterback needs. It's what Zach Wilson from the Jets doesn't have. It's what I could name 10 or 12 others. Probably Justin Fields doesn't have. Justin Fields has a lot of talent. And I would love to have Jordan Love's brain and Jordan Love's, whatever in Justin Fields' body because Justin Fields is good. But what Jordan Love has is that ability to go up there and see the line and get out of something and realize, okay, these guys are blitzing. I'm going to get rid of it quickly. It may not be a completion. It may be a down 3rd and 5 and he just throws it away. Fine. You punt the ball. You live to fight another day. So right now, right now.
Week 9 victory against the Los Angeles Rams. That was what
That's
thinking.
right. That is right. Thank you for that.
They just crushed them.
Mm-hmm.
And that should have been, you'd think, the turn, because they lost to Minnesota on Lambeau Field again, which that stung.
That did.
But they come back the week later. They beat the Rams handily, only allowing 3 points. They lose to the Steelers, but they only allowed 23 points.
Yeah, and that game was so marred by bad officiating this whole year. And it isn't just the Packers. It is horrible throughout.
There's a lot.
Oh my
goodness, victory against the Chargers. Here's what's getting me right now is, okay, let's look at these scores again real quick. Okay, obviously they killed the Bears. They barely lost to the Falcons.
Another game they should have won. They a bad call, a bad spot by the ref. Instead of it being fourth and like a half a yard, it ended up being 4th and like 2. It changed the play because they had to run something else. And in doing so, one of the Packers jumped. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened anyway, but that would have been a quick, easy quarterback sneak. Or as Mike Tirico called it the other night, the love shove. That was awesome. The love shove. That's what they would have done. They would have gotten the first down and salted it away, and they would have won 24-22.
Here's what's changed in my brain as of last week. The Saints win. They allowed only 17 points. The Lions lost. The Lions just crushed them. Let's just face it. The Lions were way better. The Raiders, although they lost, they only allowed 17 points. The Broncos, although they lost, they only allowed 19 points. The Vikings, although they lost, they only allowed 24. Here's what I'm getting at. Our defense, for all the garbage that's thrown at Joe Barry, he's doing a good job with these guys.
And yes, and we got some young stars that are playing lights out.
Yes.
Youngest team in the NFL, age-wise.
Changing my mind about Joe Barry little by little.
Corey Dillon. AJ Dillon says he feels like the old guy on the team. He's 25. I mean, come on. That's awesome. And we're doing this without our star running back, Aaron Jones. We're doing it without, for a long time, Devondre Campbell, our middle linebacker, the centerpiece of our defense. We've been doing it without Christian Watson for most of the season. But Jordan Love is finding guys like Tucker Kraft, Malik Heath. I mean, he's finding these guys who there's
a lot of talent out there.
He's good. Now we got the Giants coming up. We lose that game and forget it. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs, but they're not going to lose the game. Then you go to Carolina. I think Carolina comes to. I think we go to. Carolina comes to town. I believe. I wish that was in Carolina, but hey, whatever. It would, And then we could switch out the Minnesota game and do that one in Lambeau. But no, I'd rather beat them in Minnesota. So you got the Giants. You got Carolina, you got Tampa Bay, a very poorly coached Tampa Bay team. They have stars. They're very poorly coached. That's a big factor. This is why Tampa Bay, with all those stars, is 4-8, I believe. I think they're 4-8.
Yeah, they're not doing well.
No, they're not. Then you go to Minnesota, and then you come home against Chicago.
Giants, Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, and then finishing at home against the Bears.
Okay, so I had the Bucks and the Panthers mixed. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's looking at the schedule. It's Monday Night Football with the Giants this week.
Yep.
And then it's a noon game against the Buccaneers on Sunday, a noon game against the Panthers on a Sunday, a Sunday night game with the Vikings that might get flex. Well, no, I don't think they're flexing Sunday night games.
I don't think they would anyway. I don't think they would that game, because that game right there is going to have serious playoff implications, especially if Green Bay wins the next 2 games and Minnesota wins 1 or 2. That game right there will be for all the bananas for who goes wild card, positioning anyway. I think both of them.
Spot. Yeah, wild card.
Right.
And you kind of hope the Packers do well enough to get that 6th spot. I don't think we want to go and play the 49ers or the Eagles first.
No.
I think I'd rather play somebody else. Anybody else.
Okay. So it's either the 49ers, the Eagles, or Dallas. You're not going to escape 1 or 2 of those. You're just not.
Yeah. So, but
So
it's sure.
Okay, for the record, I'll state it right now. I don't expect the Packers to go too much farther than one game in the playoffs. I do expect them to make the playoffs. I don't expect them to go too much farther than that. They might get lucky and win one. The Giants beat Minnesota last year. Minnesota was 13-4. 13-4 last year and looked like world beaters. Everybody was picking Minnesota to possibly win the Super Bowl, and the Giants destroyed them. And then the Giants got handily beaten the following week.
Right. It's weird.
So
here's the flexible scheduling, Tom. Here's the statement on that.
Okay.
NFL's discretion. Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football is at the NFL's discretion between weeks 12 and 17. So, and week 11 also could be flexed up to the NFL. So Sunday night and Monday night primetime games could be switched by the NFL if they want, certain teams with more playoff implications to be on the primetime show.
Yeah.
So it could happen anytime now. So it's going to be an exciting end of the season. Not the one I was expecting. That's for sure.
Okay, so let's just a few more minutes here, if you don't mind. I said early on, now I have to, I listened to Colin Cowherd on AM 1330, Sports Fan, whatever. And he does a Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. And I love it because he'll say, where I was right, this, where I was wrong, this. So we're going to do a Tom is right, wrong. Where Tom was right, I said Green Bay was going to make the playoffs. I said Jordan Love, what I've seen in the last, what I've seen in preseason, what I mean last 2 years ago when he had his one and only start against Kansas, they only lost that game 14-7. But we saw what he could do against Kansas City. That was a phenomenal game. That was almost a flawless game. He's had 3 or 4 games that were almost flawless. When he has time to throw, time to think, time to do what he does, when he has time, he's deadly. He is very, very good. And he's not overthrowing players like he was early on. He's not underthrowing players. He's learned that touch. He's learned to loft it up a little bit or throw it away or do whatever. The other element that he provides is that he can get around. And there was a great play where everybody thought it was going to be a quarterback sneak or, A.J. Dillon right up the middle. He fakes the handoff and runs it around for like 17 yards. Then he slides. Oh my God, what a brilliant play. Fluor is a much better coach than we give him credit for. No question about it. All right. So where I was wrong was that I thought Detroit was going to falter. I don't think Dan Campbell is a very good coach. I don't. I think he's he's been called meathead before. I don't like that term. I don't think it's fair. He's a football coach. He's a smart guy. He's a good guy. But I think he takes a lot of chances that he shouldn't. How he does the Lions mean, yeah. Did you say Colts?
He's got the culture going there in Detroit now.
Oh, culture. I thought you said Colts. I'm like, what? What did I miss?
They've got a mentality.
You're right.
We're the underdogs, but we can win, and it's working.
Oh, no question about it. You are right about that. But that fourth down fake punt that he tried on 20-yard line or 18-yard line, that was dumb. That was dumb. It was on Thanksgiving Day. And those are the types of plays that he's going to do because he's like, oh, well, I could do that. We're gonna run it down your throat.
Well, to be honest with you on that one, 2 things. A, at the press conference after the game, he took complete responsibility. It wasn't nothing on the players at all. He took complete responsibility. And B, I don't know that it was such a bad move because he felt the game getting away from him and he had to do something. The game was getting away, and it's like, okay, how do we change this momentum? Let's do something nobody's expecting. We're gonna fake punt on this.
I don't know.
It was worthy. It was worthy of the risk, I think, in the situation they were in.
I get it. Element of surprise. If it works, you're a genius. I get it.
Exactly.
But it didn't work, and Green Bay won the game, and it made out for a great Thanksgiving. Anyway, I had said this is where I was right. Well, I don't know if I was right. I said if Green Bay wins this game, remember saying, and I think they can. I did not predict a victory because that would be just crazy. Because I really wasn't sure. This game could have been 38-10 Kansas City. And we all would have said, yeah, I guess we kind of expected that. The roller coaster ride is over. Thanks. We'll see her. But we said that in week 6, week 7, week 8 when they were on, they hadn't won for 40 days. Anyway, they beat Kansas City, and they're now in playoff position. If the season ended today, okay, 6-6, they're 500. That's not exactly good, but I've seen there's a team that could go 8-9 and make the playoffs over in the NFC South, where you've got Carolina, you've got Atlanta, you got New Orleans, and
someone's got to win that division there. So
someone's got to win that division. And right now, Atlanta is in charge of that division with a 6-7 record. I think they're a sub 500 team.
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
All right. So Green Bay is poised to go into the playoffs. Those games that they have, I think they probably will win 3 of them. They very likely will win 3. They could very well win 4, and they might just win 5. Any one of those 3 scenarios gets them into the playoffs. 9-8 probably gets them into the playoffs. 10-7 definitely. 11-5, 11-6 absolutely. And I'm thinking right now, if Jordan Love keeps the pedal to the metal. So one other thing I wanted to say. They do. They control their own destiny. The thing I wanted to say, and I know I'm rambling on and taking up all of the time. I'm so sorry. I'm just very excited. It's the only outlet I get. So what I've seen, I'm excited. What I have seen from Green Bay and from Matt LaFleur is this. They're kind of mixing it up a little bit. They're letting Jordan Love be Jordan Love, and he's proving out to be worthy of that trust. So what they're doing is they're kind of running some counter tray plays, some what I forgot what the term was, where you get them going one way and you bring it back the other way. Counter plays, basically. That's what they are.
Miami Motion this week.
Yes. Miami Motion. You're right. I love the term. But the counter plays where you get a Jaden Reed coming around, and that guy's fast. You get him coming around, and all of a sudden he zips up and he gets 10 or 12 yards that he would not have normally had. He's very good at reading blocks, comes from the SEC. So he's fast, he's quick, he's good, he's well coached. You get Romeo Dobbs has come along. He can catch those balls. Christian Watson, I hope his hamstring is good. Tucker Kraft is phenomenal. Luke
Van Ness is stepping up.
Lucas Van Ness, yes, but Luke Musgrave. Luke Musgrave, our other tight end. He's injured right now, but he's good. They have some stars, some bona fide stars, but it's that line that is doing its job, and that's why Jordan Love is able to. Two things. One, he's able to come up here and say, "Okay, I see that." This is what Stewart taught me. He's a very, very bright kid, very cerebral. He looks at the line and he says, "Okay, I'm going to have to go Omaha. I'm getting out of that play. I'm going to call this or that." And a lot of times it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. And I love the fact that he'll throw the ball away and live to fight another day. So here's the final thing I wanted to say. I went and dumped most of my fantasy team. I'm 4-8. I'm done. 8-4 is 12. I'm 4-9. Today is the final week for before the playoffs. I dumped everybody, and I have all Packers. I couldn't get Jordan Love because somebody else has him on his bench. Come on, give me a break. I offered him Patrick Mahomes and the San Francisco defense. He never responded. I don't think he got the email because I don't think people in this league check their emails. I just want Jordan Love because right now I got Scott Carpenter, Scott Campbell, Scott Carpenter. I can't remember who it was. Who's my quarterback? He's the Packers' backup quarterback. His name starts with a D, I think.
Oh,
Scott
God.
Something.
Yeah, I can't think of
Isn't
it either
funny?
now.
We don't even know our backup's name. Anyway,
we forgot him already.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I have Andres Carlson, our kicker. I got Packers defense. I stand an outside chance of winning my game if I had Jordan Love. If I had Jordan Love, I would. But I'm only going to get like 60 points. My opponent's going to get 100. I'm going to get my butt kicked. I don't care. This is my homage to my 2023 Packers. So they're, it's fun. fun to be a Packer fan right now. Never mind that 4. Forget that. We love you, Brent Favre. And Aaron Roberts.
Well, we've got Packers Giants Monday Night Football. If it was going to be flexed, it would have been already. So it's not being flexed. They're going to be on there. They're playing in New York. Are the Giants so bad that the Packers can double up on them? Is it going to be a 30-15 kind of a game?
I think it's going to be a 34-20 game. 34-20. That's what I think. I don't think they're going to double up on them, but I think they're going to. I think what's going to happen though, it's going to be 34-13, and they're going to get a last. Maybe it'll be 34-19. They'll probably go for 2, figuring, well, we'll get it to within 2 touchdowns or something like that.
I'm going to say 33-10.
I like that even better. I think you might be closer.
Good. I'm so happy with this Joe Barry defense now. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know.
So
it took a while.
For a long time.
Okay, so do you remember? Here's another one where Tom was right, and I learned this from Colin. He brought this out. Colin Coward. He brought this out, and it's like, wow, does that make sense? He said, long about week 8. I've said this a few weeks ago, saying it again. Long about week 8, teams start to put it together. The midway point of the season. Right around Thanksgiving, maybe a little before that, maybe October. Yeah, probably around October. They start to put it together. And I bring one team to mind, and that's the Denver Broncos. Denver, a tough loss last week to Houston. Probably should have won, could have won. They'd be 6-5 instead. I think they're 5-6 or 6-7. Whatever. I don't even remember I think they are 6-6. They would have been 7-5. I think that's what it was. Denver has really turned it on because you got a great coach. Okay, so you look at Green Bay. After week 8, they started their comeback. They beat the Rams. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Lions. They beat Kansas City 4 out of 5. They lost to Pittsburgh, and they should not have. They could be on a 5-game winning streak right now. They should be. But anyway, I'll take 4 out of 5. I don't care. Maybe
and they don't need to win out.
No, they don't. They don't need to win out, but I would like that. 11-5. Are you kidding me? Going to the playoffs, having won 8 games in a row or whatever it would be, 8 games in a row, and 9 out of the last 10. That's a phenomenal way to end the season. And you'd be on such a high note. Nobody wants to play Green Bay. They won't get a home playoff game. We'll have to wait till next year for that. But but week 8, week 9, somewhere around the midway point is when they started putting it together. That is when Matt LaFleur finally got through to Jordan Love, finally got through to the team. Guys, Aaron Roberts is not here anymore.
We don't have
to worry about. Oh, and think about this too. I heard this on the radio. What happened to the Jets? I'll tell you what happened to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers happened to the Jets.
Yep. They put all their eggs in his basket.
Here's why. He said, I want Nathaniel. Well, they overpaid for Alan Lazard. They should not have gotten Randall Cobb. They got Nathaniel Hackett. He's not. I'm sorry. There's something crazy about Nathaniel Hackett. I don't think he knows what he's doing. They got a couple of other things. Plus, they got a multi-billion-dollar contract for Aaron. I keep wanting to call him
Roberts.
Aaron Rodgers. I want to call him Aaron Roberts just to mess with him. But anyway, I think he was a bigger part of the Packers' problem than we thought. I really do. And I think, I'm sorry, Bear fans, to say this, but I think that for the next 10 years, 12 years, you're going to have more of the same of a good Packer quarterback.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that hoping. Something? No, he won't make the Hall of Fame, I don't think. We obviously know Favre's already in. Rodgers will go in literally 5 years in one day after, he'll be in. So obviously he will be. He's a great quarterback.
1 week from today, Tom, this is where we're going to be. Annual Christmas wrapping party at Rock House. Kids.
Oh, we're wrapping presents. We're not actually wrapping.
Gift wrapping, my friend.
Brag. I don't mean to boast.
8 to 11:30.
Coast to coast.
If there are still volunteer spots available, call and find out. 815-962-5067. Candy's organizing all the volunteers. They need between 60 and 80 volunteers to wrap about 1,000 presents.
Wow.
They have about 1,000 presents to wrap on Saturday, 1 week from today. So Christmas music, yummy treats and refreshments all on hand for everyone to enjoy. It should be a lot of fun next Saturday. And we're going to be doing our show there live, provided technology works the way we hope it does. So,
I got a color TV on the wall so I can watch basketball.
Tom, stand by, right?
That's from Rapper's Delight, by the way.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill Gang. Considered to be the first rap song, 1979. Great song.
I got a bug. I got stuff to do. Have yourself an awesome
come
day.
on.
Remember,
You should stick around for another hour.
When you help one person, be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here next week for another Saturday morning State Line Show. Goodbye.